All righty. Hello, everyone, and welcome back for part two with Kim Moe. Woo!
Yay!
Welcome back, Kim. We're so happy to have you again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm
Well,
excited to
we
be here
had to.
today.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you are. Well, we totally had to finish up from last time.
Lots
Definitely.
of information, huh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so good. So good. All right. So, just for people who didn't get all the things from last time, let's start here. Kim, would you be willing to remind people what it is that you actually do? We know you have a bunch of different modalities, but what is it that you do?
I do hypnosis, and I do those in several different aspects. I also do healing of the chakras, and help with that. Psychic surgery. I do help people talk to their loved ones if they choose to want to talk to them. Um, just a lot of different modalities as far as the healing aspects of it. I am in the process of doing the light body. It is for people that have really started working on themselves in their healing journey. And that kind of helps you navigate and to raise your own chakra system up, and then going into your light body and then up to oneness, getting closer to oneness and working with the grid work and things like that. So very exciting.
Great. I'm so
mhm,
glad you mentioned that light body stuff. I think last time we really kind of got into the block of five,
hmm
and that was such a great conversation. Let's talk a little bit more and define for me exactly, if you don't mind, what is light body and how would you describe that?
It is like your energy body. Like when you go into the astral. A good thing that I kind of compare it to is all these orbs and things like that that people have seen recently up in the sky. It's like doing that. You're just going back to your energy that you was. We're down here in our 3D human body, and go back up. It just teaches you how to go back up into your light body, up through your crown and up to your light body, and then you work on it, whether to making it lighter and brighter, more luminous and radiant. And then also, once you go up and out of that, this is what kind of helps you. And a lot of people don't realize that they're doing is when they help with the healing, when you're sending healing and stuff like that, you're working with your light body, because it's like your higher self too, with along with your soul. So it works with all those. And then you work on the grid line. You actually, the energy that you build up, you can either send it and transmute it to other people that need it, or you could put it up in your grid line to when you need it for a later time. So it's very, very interesting. I used to carry a lot of energy just in my chest as I was working through all that stuff. I was having trouble sleeping and things like that, and it's because I didn't know what to do with that extra energy. For me, I've had that problem ever since I was a child. So it's helped me a lot as far as like at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, all the energy that I do not need, I will just put it back up in my grid work, and of course all the dense energy that you've collected and things like that, if you're an empath, to send that to Mother Gaia, and then she also transmute that as well. Um, we are transmitters ourselves, actually, as the solar flares that come in and things like that, we are like antennas. So we absorb that, and you just need to keep grounding, because then we transmute it to Mother Gaia as well. So yeah,
Now, is this a course you're taking or a course you're teaching or
I'm
like is
actually going through the course as a student, but
okay.
I am in the process of taking the teacher's course on,
Okay.
the Orin band, and then also we're going to have somebody teach us as well, and how she does her program, and she teaches the light body and how she does that. So, and once we're doing that, so probably not going to do anything probably till maybe March. We may have a small class, that starts um, before then, just as far as
Hmm.
kind of like testing different things out. So, but March, we're looking at March as far as the class that me and my teacher, actually, this was her first class as a group of us, that she has done this for many, many years. She's never taught a class. And so we all were very interested with the information, kind of like you guys, the information that you get, like, I want to know more about this. And so she's like, okay, so we've just learned from her and taken that course, and just everything that I've gathered from it, and how much it's just transformed you. I mean, it also helps you with your how you deal with things on your day-to-day basis, just bringing the energy into different things and how you look at different things and um, just handling that. But it does force you, like if it kind of it's in the same energy body as the chakras, and they're roundabout in the same area, but they don't consider it the chakra system. So it's within the vicinity of that. Um, as you building all that up, and if you've got stuck energy in there, it won't let you go any further until you look at what the things that you need to look at, and then we can help you on that as well, um, just to help you because in order to get to your light body, you really have to have healing done or in the process of doing it and learning to do that. So, and everybody's on a different level. People see different things when they go there. Some don't see nothing at all, but there's always something in nothingness. And I've told Ronnie this as well, even with hypnosis, that people have that. So, um, yeah, it's just a very great program. It's just
Oh,
like an added thing on top of after you do the healing, because at that point you're like, now what? I feel like I need more stuff. I need more information. You just crave all this information of things to do.
mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds fascinating. I'm looking forward to when you start teaching, if you're doing anything online. I think we might have talked about that a little bit last time, but that is so fascinating.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk a little, I want you to touch on this grid work that you're talking about. Tell me more about that, please.
The grid work. The everything's made out of grid work. And I just see grid lines all the time now. When I close my eyes, I literally just see the grid lines. Um, there's a grid line on the earth. There's a we if you've seen some stuff that's on different platforms and things like that. You see the grid lines even on a human. We are all part of this grid line. The grid line that's above you, that you put all the energy in, and you just go through the universe, and then you could go to other universes and build upon that. Um, this program is when they first started this back in the 80s. They were just starting to help build the grid line, and so they transmute and put the energy in it so that the next set of people that do it get to go a little bit more, and it just is build it higher and higher, and it's helped with the ascension of our process from the 3D to the 5D. So it makes it much
Hmm.
simpler to get to that.
Deanna, are you
Wow.
hearing what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but
Let
what
me
else are
let
you
me word
hearing?
that let me word that differently.
The spider webs, the webs.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last time. Is
Yeah,
the grid
man.
is just like very
S-
similar to the webs in
Yeah.
that my guide talks about. So it's interesting
Yeah.
whether it's the same thing with a different kind of allegorical
Mhm.
description or
Yeah.
what. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Man. Okay. That is
yeah.
really, really cool. All right.
It is.
So do you consider yourself a healer?
I do. Yes.
Good.
Yes. I
Very
do.
good.
I do believe so. I mean, I have a little story behind that if you're interested in hearing
Of
that. But
Oh,
course.
yeah.
We
back,
love stories.
Yes.
back in 2016, I did take the Reiki, and I think some of us others on here have done that as well.
Hmm.
Because I knew my mom was getting ill, and I'm like, I know there's something out there. I just don't know how to do it. So you take the Reiki and I just send the energy to my mom, and she would feel so much better, and she could feel the healers come and help her throughout her process, from 2016 on up. And yes, I'd consider myself a healer. I feel like I help people. And in return, we also get healed as well when we're healing others. Occasionally, my higher self will tell me, it's like, okay, now you need to have somebody heal you because you do put energy in it. You don't get the full impact like who the person you're healing. So it's time for you to step back and you be healed. So yes, to answer your question, yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. So, off camera, you actually mentioned something to me about a vibration plate.
Yes.
And
Oh
you
my
actually
gosh.
said, I'll tell you all about it. Let's talk about it
Oh,
on the podcast. And I said, okay, so here
I
we are.
absolutely love my vibrational plate. Um,
Yeah.
it's helped me. You have to be careful. You have to be careful with it because you get on it and it's like in 10-minute increments, and it just helps with the lymphatic system, and it you can go lightly shaking, and they use this product too for people that have lymphedema. if I'm saying that correct, where they have the swelling of the legs. And so it kind of helps with the blood flow and things like that. They started off with people just that were having problems with lymphedema, and then they were just seeing how much it helped them. For me, it's helped me lose a little bit of inches. Obviously, walking too has helped that as well. But and working with the stretches and the vibration plate, it shakes you. You can go just a mild, just mild, or you can go stronger. And I'm just like really, really shaking. It just seems like I'm working on the psoas, and I can't remember the other muscle that's over by your hip area. It's hard to stretch those out. It's very hard.
Piriformis?
Yes, probably, yes. And those are very hard to stretch out, and I try to work on that, but, doing that vibration plate, I can feel it working on that muscle, you know, just
Mm.
loosening it up. So
So I have an image of you sitting on a dinner plate. So can you tell me what a vibration plate actually is?
that's very good. Um, it's like it's a little mat, and the
Hmm.
actual plate has suction cups underneath it, and it's got the big plate. I should send a picture of it to you guys sometime. Um, and there's got different areas in the middle. It begins just like slightly walking, and the next one is like you're half jog, half running, walking. And then the other one is like full out run out. You have different spots on this vibration plate. Now there's many, many, many of them out there, so not all of them will do the things that the ones that I got. But I wanted the one that could do many, many different things. But so I usually go on the part that's running because it's got more vibration, where this one's just got like this, and this one's, so it
Hmm.
just kind of goes with that. But that's the play. The one I have is got a little watch on it so that you could turn it on and actually, instead of having going down here to get back down here to push the buttons, that's on the actual plate. Um, it gives you the capacity up here on your wrists, to change or stop or make it go faster or go slower, have more
So
control of it.
you're standing on it. It's like a
Yes.
mat and you're standing on it and it goes a different. Oh,
Well, I
that's
mean, it's a mat
interesting.
on top of it, but it's pretty thick. I mean, it's probably about that
Okay.
thick all the way
Okay.
around. It fits your whole body. And I use it for other things. Sometimes I sit on it with my butt, and sometimes I just set my arms on it because I want more up here because I'm trying to loosen the muscles in
Hmm.
my neck and shoulders. And yeah,
Interesting. I'd never heard of that before.
I was recommended from somebody one of my colleagues when we both were students in the hypnosis. She's the one that recommended it, and I'm like, wow. She said that will help release some of that, because I get keyed up. I don't know. You guys are probably not like this, but I'm a very keyed up type of person. So I'm trying to work on the relaxation with meditation, and all the
Hmm.
other ones. But this seems to, and it helps to burn a lot of calories, a lot of
Sounds
calories.
like a deal for me.
Very easy.
Huh.
It kind of gives me the liking of back in the old days. Was it, I don't know, 40s and 50s, when they had those little belts that the ladies would put on and just
Yep, and
this.
they just shake you. Yeah.
Why did
Yes.
they stop doing that? I don't know, because it really truly does work. So I don't know why they stopped doing that, but it kind of reminds you of that. But it's an actual plate that you're standing on
Okay.
that does it.
Okay.
So it does
I
come
think
with
Yeah.
some ropes that you can kind of just do, work out and that kind of stuff while you have it, while you're on there. And then it kind of helps steady you, because some people, it throws them off a little bit. If you close your eyes, you just feel like you're off a little bit, because I put it pretty high. So
mm,
Wow. That's so interesting. I never heard of that before, but now I'm going to be looking that up and go on Amazon or something and
I'll
see or
send you what I
read
got.
reviews on it. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if you have a link
yeah.
to whatever it is or a picture or something, and maybe we can put it up here somehow because it'd be cool. It'd be neat to look at.
Hmm.
I like that idea.
I had my good friend. She did all the work. She just looked at all of them. She was a massage therapist and a hairdresser and a lymph. She works with the lymphatic system. So
Hmm.
I'm like, kudos. You look up and tell me what one is the best one. So I just let her pick that out. So yeah, I will send that to you guys, and then we can put the
Yeah.
link on here as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
works very wonderful.
All righty. So, um, do you want to talk about the block of five real quick, just to refresh people's memories? And then I want to ask you some questions about that.
Sure. Like what the block of five is
Yeah. What is it?
basically.
Yeah.
The Usually what we do is, like the first one we do kind of like a medium reading. You look into their energy and you try to see where they have problems with that. You and then you give them the reading, and then in the first time, I like to do like a healing on them and help build their chakras up a little bit because they've um, most of them are pretty low. You could, and you work with them and you teach them how to see which chakras are open and which ones are closed, and teach them how thought works with that. Um, what else we do? Most of it's pretty therapeutic, like the Hopopono. We work with that as well.
Mhm.
Journaling is huge with that. Huge. You get a lot of information and a lot of help. And you just kind of really take a look at yourself when you do that. Looking at your triggers is the biggest thing of that because if it kind of you writing them
Mm.
down so you're looking at it, and then sometimes when you're writing it down, it gives you just write things down. You don't think about it when you're just thinking about it. It kind of almost like puts you in a trance and you're in like a meditative state. So basically, working on people's triggers, teaching them how to keep themselves clear, how to teach them how to ground and keep a bubble around them. Um, just in those kind of aspects. In the block of five, we do those every week for 5 full weeks because it takes a while to absorb the information and integrate it. You don't want to push somebody too fast, by going every 3 weeks or every 6 weeks.
Oh,
It
I think
changes
you
a
froze. There we
person.
go. Hmm.
Oh,
You were
is that
frozen for
better?
just a second there.
We
Yep, you're
did. We
back now.
lost you for just a second, but we could still hear you. You were just
Yeah.
frozen, so
Uh-oh,
that's
yeah,
good.
it's
We
saying
still
my
got the
internet's
information.
unstable. Very good, very good. It does change a person and it makes them really truly look at their life. I mean, massive changes. Some of them say, "Hey, I'm not that same person anymore," and I'm really looking at myself and not like who I'm portraying as a person. You don't realize how much we portray to others, and so it helps you look at all that. And going within is really the big thing. Going within. So
Hmm.
Cool. So, and of course, I know that you do quantum hypnotherapy.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely love that. Yeah, it is rewarding to help others. Actually look at their past lives, or I've had some of them that go to the current life, and you help them and they become in a situation, and it's really nice if they come into a space and they're frightened, and you're like, okay, let's call the angels in, let's have them help you with this situation, empowering that person, because in that type of situation right there, and I talk to their higher self intuitively. I talk to their higher self and help them with that situation. If the one is in the current life, it's something that the higher self wanted to show them today that they needed them to tackle, that they've struggled with. So yeah, the hypnosis is very therapeutic, very deep level. It takes the ego out of the situation and help the person actually really look in deep within themselves. Whether it be the past life, the current life, or just struggles that they're having at this time. So
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, I'll
I've
attest to that. Yeah. Having gotten this, it's amazing. And I know we covered it last time, but I can't stress enough how awesome it is. And if you're out there listening, get a session. Just do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. Okay.
Yeah. I love that. Um, so how does all this tie in together? So how does here's the question that I think is most pertinent for people. How do they know which one to choose?
Honestly, I'm building another program because I'm seeing the foresight as I'm working, with
Yeah.
clients to see that they really need. Some of them just need more than one session, they, and
Mm,
that's kind of where the block of five comes in. But then I still want to do hypnosis with them instead of lightly putting them under. So I'm trying to create a program where I feel like they need to have several talk sessions and then also a couple hypnosis sessions, and then try to work in deep into this. I don't know if I answered your question. I'm sorry. I felt like I went off on a tangent.
No,
that's okay.
it sounds
That's
like you're
okay.
combining the modalities to give someone the most enriching experience that you can. That sounds
Yeah.
wonderful.
The most
Yeah.
impactful for them, their bang for their buck, that's what we're all here for, is to help them to get better so that they can actually go out and help others too as well.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people miss is that, yes, it is about you. It 100% is about you. What you don't realize on the flip side of that, though, is how much you're helping others by getting this help yourself. That is,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it does. It helps them
Huh.
look at different things and yeah, and to help others, even if it's just not saying anything, but your actions speak louder than words. So even that, tends to help. And
What do you think that is? Because, it's real interesting because I am actually in the process of something similar in the sense of I'm noticing that one-offs is what, our term, just when you do one and done sessions, how less impactful that is. But, like last time we were talking about how karma, how much karma's changed and how karma's not as big of a deal anymore, right? Um, what do you think it is? Why do you think the shift is? Tell me what you think about that.
as far as,
Why one session is not the one all be all that
oh,
a
okay,
lot of
it's,
people anticipate. Like a lot
yeah,
of people think that it's just a one off. And I know I thought that, back in the day. Um, go back 10 years ago, and I think just a one session at a time was absolutely pretty much beneficial. That's really all you needed. However, here we are, and
it's
things
like an
have changed
onion.
so much.
It's like an onion. You peel that top layer off. You're working on that layer, and then once that's done, then you've got to integrate that information and deal with it and process it and let it go. And then you go to the next layer, and it might be a couple weeks, it might be a week, it might be 2 months down the road or a year, and you're just like, going through the sessions that I had to when we was in their class with Ronnie, but um, I've learned because I've had over 20 sessions done on myself, as well as having to do 25 on others. But I've learned a lot about the whole process, because I went through that. And I'm like, okay, I peel back the layers and I work on that, and they find these energies. They help remove that, they replace it with the beautiful light, and you'd be fine. And then I'd have another session, another session. Everything would be good. And then all of a sudden you got something, you're like, how is that? And then I asked my higher self in that process of why that is, and they likened it to an onion because you just peel back those layers. And once you learn that and change those patterns, heal that, and now you're going deeper and deeper, deeper your core, to your core. So that's where that comes in. Why I feel like these more than one session. I can see doing a couple sessions, and then maybe 6 months down the road they like, hey, I think I've got something else. But that kind of, to me, that's where I feel like I want to build this other program where you give them those tools that they can work on those things on their own time, and then down the road they think, you know what, I think I need just another session, because I feel like I'm at that point now. So that's where, I feel like that's where the information comes from, and you feel like you need more than one session. Then there's people out there that really don't need one. Just depends on where they're at on their journey as far as where they're going and how they want to heal.
Just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
something that just came to me, I have a question for you. When you do, I have a question for you, girl. I have a lot. I'm gonna stop talking now. My question is, do you ever get the higher self involved? Do you ever ask the higher self, for example, what does Rose need today? Like, what should she be focusing on for the next week or maybe 2 weeks or maybe a month? I don't know. Do you ever do anything like that?
We ask the higher self those questions as well, and then a lot of times it will elaborate what they need within that higher self questioning time frame. We
Hmm.
do get a lot of answers, which I found very ironic doing those sessions, is the information that they put on their sheet. So you're already connected to their energy. And so you kind of, and that's the higher self, okay, presenting this is what's going to be asked. This is what we need, this individual needs to work on. And then when you have the pre-session and you're talking, it's like the things that you guys are talking about is already a prerequisite of what your higher self is going to bring and show. So it's kind of like, okay, here we go. Here's a precursor. This is what we're going to get into today. And then when you get into it, and they're like, it's like an epiphany moment when they go under and they see that they get to actually feel it, sense it, and know it.
hear you. I hear you.
So I
Okay,
do
that
ask
makes
that
sense.
question to the higher self. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
How do
I
you feel on
understand.
that? I mean, like, how's it that process with you?
That's my new thing is I'm basically having the higher self write out or verbally, it's all verbal and then but basically itemize list of what do they need to work on and how do they need to do it and we're going to do this more.
Very nice.
That's
Sounds
kind of
wonderful.
that's kind of where I'm thinking um yeah, that's kind of what I want to see if that works. I mean, why would it not? I'm just, it's up to people to do the work. That's
Yeah.
always the thing, Deanna, you know that people actually have to do their part.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm that's my new what's the word I'm looking for? That's my
That's
new
your new process that you're
research.
working on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the
Mhm.
research. I'm actually have some people that I'm working with that's what I'm going to do is when we get to when we get to the higher self, this is what they're working on. And so it's that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
Very
It's my
good.
new little
Very good.
my little project research on my own.
A
Hmm.
little tidbit on that would help too as well that that's I guess it's helped me along the way is to developing your mediumship skills, your
Yeah.
psychic abilities and working that muscle, which you know all too well, Deanne, as
Yeah.
you work on that. So you're getting that information as you're going through, even prior to it, or in the session, or when you're asking those questions, or they're just telling you. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
know.
don't
Oh, sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just to agree with you, I don't do the QHHT, but when the last group healing session I was part of, I came out with messages for everybody because I just was so connected to whatever it was, that was there, and I was able to spread those messages because you do get so connected in that healing. And whether it was mediumship, whether it was psychic, whether it was just the fact that I was just bringing in messages from somewhere, they used me as the conduit to do it. It's humbling. And yeah, so I think everything benefits from a little bit of mediumship. I think that if you
hmm
can be open enough to hear and to accept the messages and the responsibility to send them out where they need to go, it just is that much more impactful for your client.
makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always talk about that as much, my own personal mediumship or psychic abilities. I don't talk about that as much. I always that's a personal thing. I just always leave it to the people to figure out for themselves because sometimes when I've told people things, how can I say this? They're not as receptive.
You
True.
mean they have a block against those types
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah.
abilities? Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
They think that, well, you're just you telling, and I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying. That's okay. They're just
Oh,
not quite as receptive. But let me tell you, once they hear it from themselves, then they're like, oh, didn't you say something about that? And I'm like, not at all. Of course,
planting the
yeah.
seeds.
Yeah. And well, and that's the other thing is I don't want people thinking that I'm doing that and they're pulling it from that as well.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean it
So
in that aspect. I
no,
just meant
no,
when
but
you're
some
bringing
people
stuff, it's
do.
you just when you speak something, is whether they resonate with it or not. It's just like in the back of their head that like eventually this is going to be brought up. When it's their time to learn it. And
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm sure Deanna, you can attest to this. If it wasn't already there, I wouldn't know about it.
Right.
Yeah. If
Right.
it wasn't already there, I would not be telling you this. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. All right. So, what do you want people to know about you?
well, um,
Hey, there's that whole
I'm a
spotlight again.
very, I just feel like what my journey is here. I feel very compassionate of helping others.
Mm,
And to help them heal. It's very important to me, and it becomes very emotional for me. because I'm an empath, and how much I want to help others. And sometimes I have to be careful with that because they're not ready to have that healing sometimes, but I'm a very compassionate person. Um, I just love working with people and helping them get to a better place. Even if it's just kind words, a hug, sending love, just prayers, all of it. It's just very compassionate person that I feel like my life's mission is to help others.
Hmm.
I certainly relate to that. And something you said makes a lot of good sense that, just a hug or a kind word is as healing as sitting on a healing table with crystals and
Yes.
somebody, actually doing some form of healing on you. Um, you can heal people by holding a door for them and saying, have a great day, or smiling. When you accidentally make eye contact with someone when you're like walking through the store or whatever, instead of just looking away, just smile and you can see them light up. And that is a method of healing. So if anyone ever says they're not a healer, they're wrong. Because even if you're not doing a formal modality, just being kind is a healing modality in and of itself.
Yeah, we're all connected.
Hmm.
Every one of us are connected to each other. We're just bridging those connections now.
Right.
We're all learning that, like, wow, we really are connected to each other. So, what you do for yourself, and you could sense that. Sometimes you could just pick that up, and just like, that person looks like they're having a really bad day. I think I need to say something very kind to them. And that may have made their day, their life.
Hmm.
I mean, even if people are suicidal, just someone that actually says that they care, a kind
Yep.
word for everybody. And everybody has all these gifts. They really do. It's just if you're
Mhm.
ready to build that muscle or to help someone teach you how to do that, or help you on your healing journey so that you get to the point where you feel like you're ready to get out and do this, because this is
Yeah.
what we're all going towards in our future, is everybody turn into healers and helping each other.
Hmm. I totally believe that. We'll heal each other and then we'll go out into the universe and heal wherever we end up next.
Yeah.
We're learning our trade here, whether
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
saying hello to someone or getting trained in something or however we're kind of, as we're hitting this ascension, I think we're learning how are we going to do this now. We're doing it, so let's keep going and let's make sure we're learning how we're doing it because we're going to take those lessons farther, I think. I think that's really going to be the future. Um, I don't know when, but that's going to be the future.
Oh yeah, we're in the process of it now. It just
Hmm.
depends on how fast we help others, get to that and raise their vibration
Right.
up to that. Yeah. I'm looking
Right.
forward to all that. Every day gets better and better.
Oh
Hmm.
gosh, yes.
Hmm. And
I
and
was
when,
just.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry, go
ahead.
on. I
Mhm.
was just gonna say there's some conflict and divide in the world right now, and I think that is a challenge, not a barrier.
Yes.
Take it as a challenge and make it your mission to cross those divides and bring people together and build those bridges. It's just going to help our humanity grow. But yet, when we have these conflicts, it can slow us down. It just kind of all depends what the collective mind is, where the energies are going. All we can do is do our part to try to keep that positivity out there and to try to keep healing ourselves and the others around us however we can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I feel like this is the the healing of the future, or I feel like, because here's where I'm going. If you were to just go back like 5 years ago, people really didn't. If I mentioned the word quantum, people were like, "Really, quantum? What's that? What's going on?" They were very unsure about it. Whereas today, if you mention, and this was just like 5 years ago, right? And if you mention today the word quantum, everybody, I feel like that is such the future because everybody understands the quantum and gets what's well, not everybody, but a lot of people who are waking up and, in our world who you know, that understand this podcast, you know, it's like, I feel like they really are finally getting it. And the things that I've seen change over the years, as far as, quantum hypnotherapy and quantum healing, in that world, the things that I've seen change and the things that I think are to come, I just really honestly do believe that this is the future. How do you, Deanna? I know you do a little bit
Oh,
of a different, but it's still quantum healing because you're still calling in from the ether. It's a different type of modality, but it's still the quantum healing.
absolutely. And
Wow.
I mean, you can see how what used to be out there or woo or whatever you want to say is now starting to become accepted in the mainstream. I know they're using energy healing in all different places. Even in the medical community, Reiki is becoming more accepted from what I understand. And you can look at like acupuncture and some of the stuff that was, it's always been complementary. It's always been a part of things but it's becoming more like our culture in America is accepting things from the East more and we're all as a collective humanity starting to see how those things are actually beneficial. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening, right? So I think that everything is kind of, like you said, this is the time, this is things coming together, this is people um, really starting to accept things that maybe 5, 10 years ago they wouldn't. Like I got my Reiki in 2004. And I mean, hardly anybody I knew had heard of it before, right? I learned about it from a friend, got trained by the same friend, um, but hardly anybody I knew anything about it. It was out there and people did know it, but it wasn't anywhere near me. And then all of a sudden you turn around and everybody has at least heard of it, right? And
Hmm.
part of that's because we tend to flock towards people with similar outlooks, beliefs, ideas. So you're going to get yourself in a community where everybody's going to know about it anyways, but also you can hear people talk about it, and it's wonderful to bring stuff like that into the mainstream and to show people and allow them the space to be able to believe it that this is something these energy healings, these modalities, these all the things that all of us as healers do are legitimately able to help you feel better, able to help you heal, able to deal with your past traumas and let go of them, however, whatever it is that you're focusing on your healing journey. And to see it becoming more mainstream is just phenomenal because that is our path.
Goodness, look at just meditation, huh?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Meditation was something just weird people did, or especially hippies back in the day.
Well, I was
Now
raised
there's
by pseudo hippies, so
apps, I mean, there's like, I don't know, I can name off, 3 or 4 apps off the top of my head that are solely focused in meditation.
hmm hmm And
Yeah.
it's wonderful to bring this into the mainstream and to just, like I said, allowing people a place where they can believe it, dancing over there, allowing people a place where it's safe for them to believe it or explore it, because there's still a lot of disbelief or I don't even know if disbelief is the right word, but there's a lot of nope, that's not right from different groups or different people who are just like, nope, I'm not going to do that. That's wrong, and
Fear of the unknown.
right. Or just because of whatever kind of fundamental beliefs or whatever belief system
Mhm.
somebody has, it doesn't jive with everybody. It doesn't
Yep.
go along with what everybody believes. That's totally fine. But the fact that it's out there to allow you to explore it, even if it's not something you're going to pick up, you can at least learn about it. You can at least read about it, hear about it. And that, knowledge is power, but also not to preach that what we do is any better than any other religion or any other belief system, because it's not. The important thing is to have a belief system, right? Whatever it is, have a belief system that you can feel comfortable and secure in. But just letting this stuff be out there where people who may not have traditionally looked at it can say, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. I read an article about that. Cool. That's all. Very cool. Just like that." So I really like seeing this progression into more mainstream.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much less stigma.
Yes, that's
It's
the word I
it's
was looking for.
okay if you meditate now.
Mhm.
Oh, you have spirit guides, really? okay, cool. Like, what? You're okay with spirit guides? I love the time that we're in. I'm over here like, yes, yes, yes.
It is
Woo,
a good
woo,
time to
woo,
be
woo.
alive.
Finally, finally. Instead of Hercules,
Yes.
Hercules.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Finally, finally. There we go. I got it out of my system. Thanks.
It is a very good time to
Yeah.
be where
Yes.
we're at right now. I'm
Is
so thankful, man. We're just we're paving paths. You think about it. We are paving paths. You know, e- everybody has, the one that's on this trail. So it's wonderful to be in this time and space right now that and how far we're coming, the leaps and bounds. I
I
absolutely love meditation. It does. It helps you get back into yourself and, part of relaxing yourself and relaxing your body and just really
Hmm.
digging deep.
I think if somebody would have told me a long time ago that meditation was going to relax me and um I don't know. I don't know that I would have been nearly as open and receptive to it as what I am now. If that makes sense. Like, I mean,
Mm.
how can I say that differently? Like meditation is my world now. Like I'm sure all of us, like can you imagine a day without meditating anymore?
Yeah, and I would like to clarify too, with along those lines is I know there's so many people out there that struggle on like I can't meditate. I can't meditate. When you go for a walk, you're meditating. When you're folding your clothes, you're meditating. Doing the dishes. So just for the group of people that will see this, it's like I know there's people. Some say I can't sit still, but then driving down the road when you're just on the interstate, that is meditating. There's many different aspects instead of just having to sit down with your eyes closed. There is different ones out there. So don't feel, like you're just out there and like, I'm not one of those people, but you are meditating in many different ways.
Anything you're doing mindfully with great concentration is a form of meditation, mindfulness meditation. Because meditation, if you're going to boil it down, it's the ability to focus, zoom in focus on something to the point that everything else tends to fall away. And you don't realize it, but everything just falls away. So if you're doing something very mindful, and I think what you said, Kim, about washing dishes was phenomenal because that's what I teach people. I teach you just wash a plate, but do it slowly and feel every single thing. What do the bubbles feel like in the soap? What does the sound of the sponge make? What does the water feel? Is it hot? Is it cold? How do you feel when you dry your hands? Just every tiny little thing to notice puts you in that place of mindfulness and laser focus. And that mindfulness meditation is what a great way to start to get yourself to the point where you can sit down and say, okay, I'm going to take a couple deep breaths and I'm just going to let myself go. Because it is not easy to do that. And I've been meditating for as long as I can remember, but it doesn't mean I can just sit down and like, okay, here I am, I'm all zen. I got to shut my mind off just like everybody else does. And it's those
Mhm.
moments of mindfulness. It's like when you lose track of time, it's because you've been focused in on something. That's meditation in terms of mindful meditation. So if anyone is struggling, it's just find one thing that you can laser focus on. Wash a freaking plate and notice everything. Or another good one I learned is a heel toe walk, where you just heel and then toe and then heel and then toe. So as you're taking your walk, you're mindfully paying
Mm.
attention to what you're doing. You're focusing in on that, and that's teaching you to tune out anything else. And at first, you're going to feel weird, particularly if you're out doing it in public. But just walk across the room with a heel toe. Heel toe. Wear shoes that make noise if it makes you feel better to hear the sound, to create a pattern, much like a drumming or, anything, a rhythmic tapping, whatever. Or wear nothing, no shoes because it's the quiet that makes you feel better. However, it works for you is the right way. But doing that mindfulness that helps you zoom in on things, it's like when you get lost in a book, you're in a
Mm.
meditative state. You're reading in a meditative state, all those things. So I don't want anyone to ever feel that they're a failure or that they can't do it, because
Thank you.
you always, always can. And you do. You just don't recognize it for what it is all the time. And yeah, you can work yourself up to sitting for 15 minutes listening to music and zoning, excuse me, zoning out and going somewhere with your guides or doing whatever it is that your goals are. But it starts with a little step, a mindful step.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think there's actually, and I'm going to look it up. And once I look it up, I'll go ahead and put the link in the, in this podcast as well. But there is actually a book out there. Like I said, I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember who it's by. I know it's there and it'll come to me in a moment. But there's a book, and I think it's about 50,000 different ways to meditate.
Gee, just reading 50,000 things is enough to,
I
yeah,
guess that might put you in a meditative state because you're reading it, which is putting you in a different
yeah,
Exactly.
mindset, right?
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, but he talks. I think it's a couple that wrote it. But yeah, they talk in there about the fact that washing dishes is meditative. Go for a walk. I think the trick is that a lot of people miss is they're like, well, I just can't be still, and my brain comes, and I have all these thoughts in my brain, and I can't get the thoughts out of my brain, and da 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 da. I think it goes back to what, you said earlier, Deanna, which I know you know, Kim, is mindfulness.
Mhm.
Get engrossed in what you're doing. I'm laying here on the bed. Feel your body connect with the bed in a different way. Start feeling things. Get really That's how I got there. For me personally, was I got super duper mindful,
Mhm.
and then I just started going, huh, that's an interesting thought. And I just became aware of the thoughts instead of getting dragged down with the thoughts. And anytime I started getting dragged down with the thoughts, I just went back to feeling my breath or whatever. But yeah, whatever you're doing, go for a walk. Just pay attention to the walk.
And unplug a little bit too. I
Oh
mean,
gosh.
our society for the last, what, 30 years or something has been bombarded with well, probably longer than that, but we've been bombarded with cell phones and immediate access to the answer to anything. And that's great in its time and place. I'm not going to say social media is bad. I'm not going to say, I mean, look at us, right? But if you really want a chance to go within, it's hard enough to turn off your own internal chatter, but then to have external chatter at the same time is just going to make it that much harder. Now, some people like to meditate with music. I will listen to certain songs um that help me meditate. Not a lot of them. There's a few like just beautiful, beautiful classical music pieces that will really make me feel able to relax, but I'm not going to sit and listen to Metallica and think I'm going to meditate. Now, some people may get very relaxed with that. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying you can't do it. I'm just
Right.
saying that if you're going to take a walk to be a mindful walk and to find that mindfulness, listening to true crime podcasts while you're doing it is not going to help you, because it's going to take your
Right.
attention from internal to external. Yes, you have to keep your eyes open and not get hit by a car when you're taking a walk, but you don't, if you want to get into that mindfulness state, you need to get to a point where the external, you limit the external as much as you can to help yourself achieve the state that you're looking for. And you do what works best for you. And it is so much trial and error. Like there was
Mm.
music I used to listen to and I thought it was great. And then one day I was like, you know what? This isn't doing it for me anymore. I can't, this isn't helping me meditate anymore. For whatever reason, then you change it up a little bit. I like the Pachelbel, a couple, some of that is just gorgeous. We'll put a link. I'll send you a link. It's the most gorgeous meditation music I've ever heard.
Okay.
And but then again, like my friend and I in our healing technique, we use different music. We started using modern music as a different way of moving the energy, and it's
Mm.
working right. That's how we're doing it. It's part of what we do. So it really depends on what works for you. But trying to calm the external, they say you take deep breaths and you listen to your breathing, and you can do the breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and you kind of do that square breathing. And that's great if it works for you. But if you're doing that and you're thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to pass out. Oh my God, I hear my heart beating in my ears. Oh my goodness, did I blow out too long?" It's not working for you. Don't do it. So,
Take what you want, leave the rest.
exactly. Exactly. And never ever think that you can't do it because you can and you do. You just maybe don't realize it.
I can s-
Meditation actually brings you to the present, and I think that's what
Hmm.
we're supposed to do is to bring you to the present. I don't know why this came to my mind a couple minutes ago when you started talking. It's like
Yeah.
when you get the hiccups, and then sometimes you hold your breath because you're trying to get rid of the hiccups, and then slowly breathing out, and it kind of goes in with the breathing. You're like, okay, it brings you back to present, and it makes you wonder if spirit's telling you, like, hey, let's it's time, like, to bring
Yeah.
yourself back to present. I don't know why that came to my mind, so there was something or somebody needed to hear that. They can use that as the breathing too, but just came to my mind, so I wanted to elaborate a little bit on it, so
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's what works for you is the best thing for you. Some of you might like to meditate with Metallica or Slayer or something. Personally, I don't, although I listen to that music, not when I'm meditating. So, you have to find what works, but I think the key is really laser focus on one specific thing, and that will quiet everything else that's going on. It's like when you're anxious and you're just concentrating on your breathing because it helps you forget all that other stuff long enough to get your sympathetic nervous system or whatever it is into where it needs to be. Yeah.
Hey
and
Kim.
that yeah, and listening to the high vibration of music helps you put you in a better mood too and helps you with that
Yes.
Hmm.
that relaxing and just feeling so much better if you're feeling low or
Hmm.
and it does help you in a meditation because you start singing with it and just the humming and
Hmm.
just the vibration that's in your body when you're singing with that is healing as well.
Right. I mean, dancing around my living room with my dog singing Grateful Dead music is just as healing as sitting cross-legged and chanting mantras or something. It all depends on where you are mentally and what you need. And that's why I said, like everything is good if it works for you.
And everybody's different.
Yes.
It works differently for everybody. So what works for one person may not work for another. So don't feel like, well, I can't do it to this song. It's what is your jive? What really
Right.
helps you and just go with that flow.
And they have those apps that just tell really boring stories to help you fall asleep. Hey, maybe that's what you need. And that's another thing about meditation is it's okay to fall asleep. It doesn't mean that you're failing your meditation. It means that you've gotten yourself to such a peaceful place that your mind can just relax in its most ultimate state. That's okay. It's also saying your body needs the rest because you fell asleep, but it's okay in any meditation or in any healing that you're receiving or any work that you're doing spiritually. If you fall asleep, it's a sign that you are very relaxed and into the whatever's going on around you, whatever the healing is or whatever the meditation is. You receive healing asleep as easily, if not more easy, than you do when you're awake. And we tell people in our healing is it's okay if you fall asleep. Don't worry, we'll wake you up eventually. And it's important because you can absorb just so much. So I mean, I think so many people think that they might be doing something wrong, that they can't do something when actually they're doing it and not realizing it for what it is. Dorothy always knew how to get home, right? Same kind of a thing.
Well
Mm.
said. Well
Yeah.
said.
All right, Kim. So where is all of this taking you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It truly, really is. And I ask my higher self and team that too. Where is this taking me? I think it's taken me to more and more levels and to reach more and more people, to have these abilities that what everybody can do. Um, it's best if you keep it to yourself, you're not helping others. And to just be able to spread this out, all the messages, just like you, like both you ladies as well, just getting the information out. Everybody's on a totally different place on their own journey and Some are all just beginning to become awake, and some of them are really, really awake and wanting more information. And just getting the message out is where I feel like best suits me is to getting this information out and helping so many others. And
Mhm.
for us to answer questions, as well.
Right,
I love
right.
that.
Sharing what we know is so important because it can help other people have insights. It can help people realize they're not alone, and it can help get whatever message it is that needs to get out, you know?
Spiritual insights and practical wisdom.
You got it. You got it. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Kim, do you have any parting thing, anything that's coming into your being, anything that you feel you should say that somebody needs to hear? Any parting words? Take
Hi,
a breath.
not right off, but sometimes they just pop in. You never know when they're actually going to pop in sometimes, as Deanne knows. Um,
Mhm.
just be yourself. Everybody be yourself. Reach out. There's always somebody to reach out to ask questions. If you have any questions that we could answer, by all means, reach out to us. If you put the message on there, everybody knows how to get a hold of each other as far as we are. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow and reach out if you need help, and that's what we're here for. I mean, if you need us to help you guide you to where you need to go next, or you need help with your healing, we're all here available to help you with those. That's what we're here for. And we hope that we reach many, many people. That is our goal, is to reach many, many people, because that's, I think you ladies are just as compassionate as I am about helping others.
Absolutely. Kim, is there a way that people could get a hold of you if they wanted to reach out to you?
Yeah, I have a website and it's findingyourouthenticself.com. There is a place in there that you can send me a message. I have so many different modalities in there that I would love to help everybody to tackle where they need to go and to learn and grow. I will be posting the light body information in a couple months, so be looking for that. But yes, you can get a hold of me. Um, my email, I think we may post that in there. It's
Mhm.
klmoe@yahoo.com, or, on my website would be as well. You can reach me through there as well.
Great.
Findingyourouthenticself.com.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was, when I come up with the wording for my website,
it's a
it's
good
like,
one.
I've got so many different things that I'm doing and helping people. And I ask, to come up with a website. And so every so often they would give me words and I would write it down and put it in, this little book. And then I started putting words together and then like, oh, I liken it to like looking in the mirror, because you're really just trying to look back at yourself. You're going in, but you're actually looking at yourself. So that's where, we all need to get back to our authenticity, um, of who we really, really are, because society has really taught us different ways that we're all finding that's not really working.
Mhm.
And so that is my goal, is to try to help people actually find their true authentic self, the true them.
I love that. That's wonderful. I am so glad that you've been on to talk with us. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm really looking forward to exploring your website myself and seeing all the great things. So we'll post all that information under the episode here anyways. So if you missed it or you didn't get a chance to write it down, it's okay. We'll have it there too. But it's always good to know how people can reach out if they want to talk to you more individually, or if they have questions for you. And of course, you can ask us questions anytime here, and we will answer them. We will.
Yes.
Um, so yeah,
And if
yeah.
for some reason you forget findingyourouthenticself.com, ask the question. I'll give you Kim's website. Easy peasy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very
Oh
good.
yeah.
And I do have a Facebook page. I'm still to pull that up and get that going, but it's the same thing, finding your authentic self
Oh, good.
on
Awesome.
Facebook too
Awesome.
as well. But I'll give you that information so we can put those in the links as well.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I'd be happy to hear from you.
All
Oh,
right.
that's so wonderful.
And I thank you
Kim,
both, ladies. It's been wonderful.
Oh,
Thank you so much
Kim,
for
thank you
having me
for
on here.
being here. Oh my gosh, thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. This has been so much fun to have you on. I've really Like I said, we've known each other for a moment, and I'm just ever so grateful. Thank you.
You're
Yes.
most welcome.
Thank you so much for coming. I mean, like I said, I've learned, and this was a great conversation.
So,
And
and it's nice
hopefully,
to collaborate with everybody
yeah,
too. It's so wonderful.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I think my little blurb at the end, if you have anything you want to ask, obviously ask us out there. If anybody out there has something they would like to share, let us know, get in contact with us, and you might find yourself on the podcast sometime. So I don't know, Ronnie, I think we got it covered for tonight.
Good. Until next time,
Until
everyone,
next
once again,
time.
thank you so much for being here with us. One quick shout out to Gabby. Love you, girl.
Hi,
Anybody got
Gabby.
any shout outs? Kim,
Not
do you
right
have
yet.
anybody you want to say hello to?
I, no, just everybody that's out in the audience. I mean, I know there's
Yay.
going to be many people that hear this. So, shout
Yeah.
out to you guys because you guys are the ones that we're here for.
That's true.
Yes,
That is so
absolutely.
true. Yes. Shout out to everyone. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. And until next time,
Thank
everyone,
you.
Thank
thank
you.
you. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye.